What if the thing that you're most certain about right now in life is not really reality itself, but the lens that you are looking at reality through? And what if your stress, your anger, your insecurities, and even your political outrage are less about the facts and more about the interpretive framework shaping what you see? And what if the real power move is not proving that you're right, but becoming aware of the lens itself? And on this channel, we decode complex psychological and developmental ideas through spiral dynamics so that you can understand why people see the world differently than you. And more importantly, we do it so you could consciously evolve the lens you are operating from instead of being unconsciously driven by it. Because once you see through this lens, you gain the ability to adapt to it. Now, can you imagine walking into a courtroom where 12 jurors are presented with the exact same evidence, the same testimony, and the exact same video footage? The facts are identical, yet the interpretations differ dramatically. Not because the evidence changed, but because each juror filtered that evidence through a different internal lens. Reality works the very same way. The event is shared, but the experience is constructed. What you conclude depends on the framework that you are operating from. And later we will use the sunglasses metaphor to make this filtering effect visually obvious. But first, we need to understand how the filtering actually works psychologically. So let's talk about facts, faith, and beliefs. Facts are observable and measurable. They are the things that you can verify with data or with direct evidence. And faith fills in the gaps where facts are incomplete. Now, beliefs are the interpretive lens that shape how we process both facts and faith. Facts are like lighting entering a camera, and beliefs are the internal settings that determine how the light is rendered. Most of what stresses you out is not the raw light, but the internal setting. For example, the fact might be that your boss did not respond to your email. The belief might be that they do not respect you, and the emotional reaction does not come from the inbox, but from the meaning that you assign to it. And your brain constantly fills in missing information to create a coherent narrative, and that narrative often feels real, but it is the interpretation layered on top of the data. You are not seeing reality directly, you are seeing your interpretation of reality. Now let's go a little bit deeper into the difference between limiting beliefs and liberating beliefs. A limiting belief narrows your identity, reduces your perceived options, and weakens your willingness to act. A liberating belief, on the other hand, it expands your identity, it increases your perceived options, and it strengthens your willingness to act. A limiting belief often turns a temporary situation into a permanent identity statement. It sounds like this is just who I am, or this is just how life works. And a liberating belief treats the same situation as information that can be used for more growth. Just imagine your business launch did not go very well. A limiting belief says that I'm not cut out for this, and that freezes you in your tracks. While a liberating belief says that this feedback is something that I can refine, which mobilizes you to move forward. Limiting beliefs feel protected because they reduce uncertainty. They give you a reasonable reason to stop trying, which lowers the anxiety in the short term, but liberating beliefs feel uncomfortable because they require responsibility and effort. A limiting belief prioritizes emotional comfort. A liberating belief prioritizes growth and strength. And the real question is not which belief feels better, but which belief makes you stronger. Now let's make this a little bit more visual, all right? Imagine reality as a sunlight shining evenly across the landscape. Now imagine you're wearing sunglasses with different colored lenses. If the lenses are dark and red, the world looks hostile and intense. If the lens is blue, the world looks orderly and rule-bound. And if they are green, the world looks relational and emotional. As you can see, the sunlight did not change, only the tint did, and this is how belief systems work. The goal is not to remove the sunlight, the goal is to become more aware of what tinted lenses that you're currently wearing. And just to be clear, a liberating belief does not remove difficulty from your life, it actually increases your capacity to handle more difficulty. Life does not suddenly become smooth or effortless because markets still crash, relationships will still strain, and pressure still shows up, but what changes is your resilience. Now, imagine you are overwhelmed at work. A limiting belief says, I can't handle this pressure, which leads to more avoidance and to more burnout. A liberating belief says that this is a stretch moment and I can build the skills to operate at this high level. You see, life did not get easier, you actually got stronger. And that's the entire point of evolving your belief systems. And if this video is helping you see your own lens just a little bit more clearly, take a moment to subscribe and comment which stage you resonate with most. Awareness is just the beginning of growth, and this channel exists to help you consciously evolve instead of unconsciously react. And as you move through spiral dynamics, your belief systems begin to evolve. Early stages focus on survival and security, while the later stages incorporate order, achievement, empathy, and systemic integration. Each stage looks at the same event but interprets it differently. A power-oriented lens sees dominance. A rule-oriented lens sees morality. An achievement-oriented lens sees an opportunity. As your development increases, your flexibility also increases, and higher stages do not eliminate any hardship. They just increase your ability to process complexity without collapsing. And the world is accelerating across technology, culture, and economics. And if your internal lens is rigid, every shift feels destabilizing. But if your internal lens is flexible, change becomes information that you can begin to integrate. Adaptability is like evolution, while rigidity is fragility. Examining your belief systems is how you increase your range. So whenever you're feeling triggered, stuck, anxious, ashamed, or even reactive, run these 4 questions through your mind. First, is this true? Second, is this absolutely true in every single context? 3, how does believing this serve me? And 4, who would I be and how would my life change if I didn't believe in this? These questions separate the sunlight from the lens of your sunglasses, and they create a distance between fact and interpretation. So let's go through a few different examples where I can walk you through this. Imagine that you have a belief that you are behind in life. The fact might be that someone your age earns more money or has a different title. That is the observable data. Now ask yourself, is it true that you are behind, or are you just comparing different paths? Is it absolutely true in every context, or are there areas where you're actually growing? Then ask how believing this serves you. Does it energize you to improve, or does it create shame and paralysis? And finally, who would you be without this belief? Without that belief, you might become strategic instead of insecure, and your energy will shift immediately because the same facts now produce motivation instead of discouragement. Now let's get into the second example. Imagine that you believe your partner does not care for you. The fact might be that they forgot something important or they just came home late, and that's the observable behavior. Now you could ask yourself, is it true that they don't care, or is that just your interpretation? Is it absolutely true in every single context, or are there moments of care that they have shown that you're just ignoring? Then imagine how this belief is serving you. Does it open up communication, or does it justify your withdrawal and resentment? Who would you be without that belief? Without that belief, you might approach a situation with curiosity instead of accusation, and the relationship dynamic changes because your lens changed. Now here's example number 3. Consider the belief that you are bad with money. The fact might be that you made financial mistakes in the past, and that is the observable data. Now ask whether it is true that you are permanently bad with money, or if that's absolutely true across all situations. Then ask how believing this serves you. Does it protect you from responsibility, or does it limit your growth? Who would you be without that belief? Perhaps someone more capable of learning, budgeting, and investing wisely. One belief can cap your income for decades, and a different belief can expand your financial range. So in conclusion, there is one shared reality and infinite interpretation. Facts are like the light entering the system, and beliefs determine how that light is rendered. A limiting belief narrows your capacity, while a liberating belief expands your strength. Life does not get easier, you get stronger. And the goal is not to prove that your lens is correct. The goal is to know what lens that you're looking through, because once you know that, you can begin to evolve it. The sun is constant and your freedom is in the filter. All right, everybody, I hope you learned something. If this is something that you really value, subscribe to this channel, share it with a friend, drop a comment below, and I will see you in our next video.